Alright, here we're going to be sketching graphs of lines from their equations. Let's see. These equations are all in slope-intercept form, which you'll recall is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line and b is the y-intercept, the place where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay. So the slope in this case, you'll notice there's no number out front of the x, the coefficient of x. There's no number there, but you can always pretend like there's a 1, and in this case, because it's a negative, it's a negative 1. So the slope is negative 1. So I'm going to put m equals negative 1. The y-intercept is notice it's negative, negative 1. Okay, and in this case, the y-intercept is negative 1. So we go to the y-axis, we go to negative 1, and our slope being negative 1, that's like going forward 1, down 1, forward 1, down 1, forward 1, down 1, and so on. Now I'm going to plot a whole bunch of points, but you don't necessarily have to. You could just plot a couple points and draw on the rest of the line. I'd recommend that you don't plot like 2 points real close together and try and draw a line, because that ends up oftentimes leading to a mistake. And so I'm just going to draw the line through all the points. Put a little arrow at either end just to show that it goes on forever. And of course, remember, it is a line. There are in-between numbers like fractions and so on, but they just don't show up here. Alright, next line. Switch over here a little bit. This one is x equals 1. Notice this is not in slope-intercept form. It just says x equals 1. It's the collection of all points that have an x-coordinate of 1. So for example, 1, 0, and 1, 1, and 1, 2, and 1, negative 2, and so on. You'll see this is shaping up to be a vertical line that crosses through the x-axis at x equals 1. Similarly, over here, this one doesn't quite look like y equals mx plus b or slope-intercept form, although it technically is. But here it's just all the points that have a y-coordinate of 1. You'll notice, for example, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, or negative 3, 1. So again, this is a horizontal line of all the points that have a y-coordinate of 1. A little bit of a sloppy drawing there. But, so remember, if it's just y equals with no x, horizontal line. If it's just x equals something with no y, vertical line. Alright, last line. Y equals 2x plus 2. Our slope is 2, and our y-intercept is also 2. So we'll go to our 2 on the y-axis, because it's the y-intercept of 2. Mark that. Our slope is 2, which means over 1, up 2. Over 1, up 2. And we go back in the opposite direction, down 2 and back 1. I like to plot a whole bunch of points. And you got a nice ruler. Just go through, connect them all with a nice straight line. I don't have a ruler with me, but I'll just make do. Put a couple arrows on the end just to remind people that your line does go on forever beyond the confines of this little grid here. Right. Good luck with the rest of these.